I'd like to introduce my president of Vermont NEA, Martha Allen.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you all for being here today. What is happening in Wisconsin is both historic and devastating. While we understand the need for governments to close budget deficits, we know from experience here in Vermont that busting unions and silencing public employees is wrong. When we have disagreements with our employers, whether state employees or teachers and educators, we talk to and negotiate with them. They lay out their arguments, show us their numbers, and we have a conversation. How fortunate we are to live in a state where our collective bargaining rights are not threatened by a governor with an ideological zeal to wipe away decades of respect for most of the public employees in his state. As we stand here today, the livelihoods of tens of thousands of public workers in Wisconsin are at stake as their governor attempts to dismantle decades of rights in the name of fiscal prudence. And it's clear that fiscal prudence is a ruse. As my colleague in Wisconsin said, let's be very clear. We are prepared to implement the financial concessions proposed to help our state in these tough times. It's about compromise. We will meet the governor halfway, but we will not be denied our right to collectively bargain. It's not just Wisconsin where this fight against working men and women is taking place. All around the country, in 20 states, including New York, Indiana, Nevada, Tennessee, Texas, Florida, and New Hampshire, ideologues are using the recession as an excuse to eviscerate long-standing workers' rights. Yes, this attack is against teachers, support professionals, emergency medical technicians, firefighters, nurses, your neighbors, your friends, your family members. We are not alone today. As one member of a union of more than 3.2 million people, I am proud to stand up for our colleagues in Wisconsin. I am proud to be standing up with these people here, all of them representing thousands of hardworking Vermonters and millions of Americans. Today and the rest of the week, more than 60 vigils, rallies, press conferences, and demonstrations are planned in state capitals across America. We are all ready to stand up and fight for the rights of our colleagues whose livelihoods are at risk with these dangerous proposals. Teachers and state employees in Vermont know what it is like to work collaboratively with their employers. What is happening in Wisconsin doesn't happen here. We are fortunate to have a governor and a legislature and elected school boards who know the difference between an ideologically driven assault on workers and their unions and a budget deficit. We would urge Governor Walker to call off his misguided and dangerous agenda. Talk with the teachers and public workers. Don't silence them and their unions. And next we have Ben Johnson. No, Ben's last. So we have Bob Hooper, president of the SEA.
I'm just back from Maine, and I realized I should have brought a bigger napkin. I don't have too much to say about this. As state employees, I think that you in the press and you in the room pretty much know that we have worked collaboratively with this administration, tried to work with other administrations to close gaps in budgets in the past, and have successfully sat down at the table and done so. To this particular issue, I think this is just a continuation of the mid-90s conservative agenda that Newt Gingrich brought in, where the attacks started at the national level and they've now worked their way down to states. It's an eat-your-own sort of philosophy, and as a child in Pennsylvania, I remember driving in the Pittsburgh area where some of the mammoths of industry used to reside: U.S. Steel, Westinghouse, GE, Mobay Chemical. And in those buildings were Americans who were reaching out to each other to try to bring themselves up to a higher level. Those situations are now gone. You can drive through Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you'll see no steel. You'll see little industry. And I think that's an indication of where our country is going and where we should be very wary of. This situation in Wisconsin is an indication of the next step in a battle to really undermine what America has been about. We used to be about the best education. We used to be about the best bridges. We used to be about the best brain trust in the world. Now we're moving to a lower plane. And it's something that if we are to save America, we all need to rally against. And that's what we're here for today. And I hope that you all join us rallying outside, because the future of America is really at stake here. Thank you.
And Ben Johnson, the president of, you can say your full long name.
United Professions, AFT Vermont. We represent nurses at Fletcher Allen and faculty and staff at UVM and the state colleges. And I've got a statement here to read from Mari Cordes. She's the president of Vermont Federation of Nurses and Health Professionals, and she's in Madison right now. She sent this to us today. This is about families and fairness. It's about how our economy will be strong again. This is about how we create a strong middle class that values work, not a culture that we've seen from Wall Street that has put the easy buck above hard work. This isn't just about unions. It's about an America that moves forward for everyone. Nurses, teachers, firefighters, carpenters, these are the foundation for our economy. And these are the moms and dads, the grandmas and grandpas, and the neighbors we're rallying with. And it's having a huge impact. I'm here in the Wisconsin state capitol with people from all over the world. Wisconsin has been on the forefront of positive change for hardworking Americans. And if this can happen here, we can't assume it won't happen in Vermont. That's why I'm so glad to see that today in Montplier, so many people have gathered to support the hardworking people of this country. And I know that it comes from the care and concern we have for the work that we do in Vermont and the people that we serve. The same pressures face our elected leaders throughout the country, and if we need to have exactly the same amount of passion, enthusiasm, and solidarity as we see in Wisconsin if we're going to continue to move forward. I want to make sure that we carry this energy in a huge wave across the country and use it not to tear down, but to raise people up, especially those we serve, our patients, our students, our children, and our communities. Thank you.
Are there any questions before we move outside? There are going to be many speakers out there too. So
whether you're in support of the union in Wisconsin or not, did you put your support behind teachers who may have skipped school for several days and in some cases shutting down schools in Wisconsin?
It's unfortunate that it had to be brought to something like that, but this is a very, very important issue. Hopefully they'll make up their days and there won't be too much lost. But in order to protect collective bargaining rights for all of the employees, state employees in the state, it's important that they were there.